If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. We're taking ownership of our narrative, leading the conversation, enlightening our listener. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Hey, how we doing this Friday afternoon? I mean, today's date is 6th of December, and it's still raining. Is this global chilling or global showers or global warming? It's quite confusing. I was asleep and I just started hearing the rain. Is it August or something, or is it July? But it's been a very, very cold day in the city of Lagos, West Africa, and I'm in the studio this afternoon with a very, very interesting person I've known for, I think, about 4 or 5 or 6 years now, right? Of course, we have mutual friends who go way back, and I've followed him also on social media, and I can see his commitment to work. I can see his commitment to getting results. I can see how driven, from afar, I can feel the energy of how driven he is. About how much... okay, so he's a digital strategist with over 7 years experience in digital marketing, product management, and digital transformation. He is currently the co-founder and chief digital officer at Webcoupers. Webcoupers is a very, very, very reputable company in Lagos, Nigeria, and it's one of the most reputable companies in digital marketing from Africa. Where you can check them out on Google. Webcoupers, that's WEBCOUPERS, right? It's one of the leading, of course, agencies in Nigeria and a premier Google advertising partner also in West Africa. He's also the co-founder of Haptics Limited, a digital skills training and technology solutions company focused on upskilling career professionals and job seekers. I mean, Peter Kolade is a very, very interesting person that I'm happy to have here. Right, and I mean the conversation is about to get really, really interesting. What's up, Peter?
Hi, Tomi. Thank you for having me on the African Business Radio Show. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, welcome, man. Welcome. Nice one. So the conversation so far that we had before getting to the studio was, I see how good you are with. I see what you've done. Of course, what did you study in school, first of all?
Computer science.
Computer science, you see, and then you're doing digital marketing. I'm not sure you were taught computer science, digital marketing in computer science classes now. Exactly. So I've always had this thing about people studying something in school and then getting out of school and then learning a skill, So I had a conversation with a lady recently, and then she's 20, and then she has these websites where she actually learned how to get things done herself. That's a very, very, very interesting story, or a very, very interesting lady that I met. And then straight up, I thought about you. I thought about a couple of other guys that I know. I thought about myself also. I mean, I studied political science in school, and I'm a brand consultant now, right? What was the switch for you from computer science to digital marketing? Because I want you to share experiences, what you saw, right? What was just the turning points? What made you change?
Thank you for the question. So, for me, I would say, I think if someone has asked me like about 6 or 7 years ago about where I would be in the next 7 years, I probably would not have been able to tell them I'll be running a business, especially a marketing business, considering what I studied. So, of course, when I was in the university, I was like 70% of every typical computer science student. I wanted to become a programmer.
Right.
I was writing codes, doing back-end, front-end programming and all that, building websites and all that. So for me, digital marketing wasn't really top of mind for me.
Okay.
So I would say it was at the point when I got my final year, and of course, at that point, conversations about career start coming up. You have to start paying attention to okay, what is next after university, and that's when we started, venturing into other areas, particularly looking at other opportunities of how can we provide value in some way or the other. And that's when we came across a particular program called Google Online Marketing Challenge.
Yeah.
That was an initiative by Google. It was based off, it was a strategy for them to try and push their AdWords platform. AdWords is a marketing platform that they use to help improve businesses' reach online through online advertising.
Right.
So we enrolled in that program, and just as like I said, we're at 400 level and we're just looking for ways to upskill ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was just more of okay, let's just do this thing and see where it goes.
Yeah.
And we enrolled for that program, and we actually discovered a lot of interesting things in terms of digital marketing, things that we didn't even know about because we were like techies, my partner and I.
Yeah.
So we never really knew about digital marketing at that point, but we saw how much value we could potentially give small businesses through digital marketing. And of course, as part of the program, it came with us going through some sort of training, going through some sort of exercises and exams, certification programs to be specific. And we actually came out tops in West Africa at the end of that program. So I think that kind of just opened our eyes to the opportunity that was there, both on the in terms of like the business value that you could get from helping businesses grow through digital marketing, and of course the potential of what we could do with these skills that we've gathered.
Okay.
So I would say that's where the switch came in.
That was where the switch came in. So it was, would I say you saw an opportunity, or maybe some thoughts that has been happening in your mind, or maybe a desire to just be better than the box you were in?
Yes.
Met all of that.
I think it's, again, all that, and of course, for me personally, I've always been a solutions provider person. So I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit of looking for opportunities and being able to take advantage of those opportunities to provide solutions to problems. So and it has expressed itself over even before my university years, like in different ways. So it was me not being tied to programming, because that's programming itself is just one way of providing solutions. So digital marketing again is another way of providing solutions. So I just saw it as something that key to my core. That was what spurred me to saying, okay, we could actually start a business from this and do this at scale. So
what I can hear now is it's just a desire, anyways, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who have that desire. So now there's this question popping up now. You have a desire to do something, right? But then when you don't have the mind to spot the opportunity. Now, what makes you spot that opportunity? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm in my room now. I want to go to Abuja, right? And then some people are talking about, I have a PNR code for free. Now, you don't know that PNR code is what you used to fly, or PNR number is what you used to fly. You might not know what the PNR means. You might even just pass by. But when you say, PNR, you mean you have a free ticket? You get that kind of a thing, yeah. So, what is that thing that should at least just be done, even when it looks like the opportunity is not there, that could just sharpen the mind of anybody who has the desire to be better than who they are, to notice it?
So I would say it's at the end of the day, like every there is like different phases that people go through in life, right? So as you are growing up, at that point you have no worries in life as a child or as a teenager. You are pretty much just focused on passing and all that. But as you become an adult, there are certain things that come into the picture. Things like why do I exist? What is my purpose in life? And I think there is that point where you start to want more from yourself. I think it's just an innate character of every human being, where you just feel I can do more, I can do better than this, and I can actually be impacting people, either people, businesses, or just creating some sort of value in a way. So for me, I would say I've always just that has always been my own purpose about how can I help other people. It can come in different capacity. I wasn't, to be honest, I didn't even know, I wasn't quite sure how it's going to express itself. For me, I think business is just one, running a business is just one aspect of that. But for me, I think it was just out of the need for me to be able to say, okay, by the time I leave this world, or by the time I grow older, I will be able to say, this is my legacy. I'll be able to say, this is something I left back on earth. And I would say it expresses itself in different formats, and one of them now is in terms of this business that we're talking about, in terms of how did I now decide that I wanted to do this. So again, in terms of like talking about actual what's enabled me to be able to now take that advantage when it's presented itself, I would say two things. I would say maybe three things. I would say perspective.
Right.
I would say network.
Okay.
And I would say a little bit of luck.
Okay.
Yeah, to be honest, I think luck is also a factor, but again, luck it's only something you can take advantage of when you're prepared, sort of way. So, from a perspective in terms of how do I see Nigeria and even Africa at large. So a lot of people, when they look at Nigeria, they see problems, right? For me, I see the problems and then I see the opportunities. And again, I've always believed that, you have to look at, I've always been a very optimistic person. I think it has to do with my temperament. I'm a sanguine, and things can be going down the hill, about to explode and go all bonkers and all. And I'll still try and find the positive angle to it. I think that has to do with my temperament. So for me, I figured, okay, this is a country that has a lot of problems. And of course, it means that a lot of opportunities for solutions and for you to create value for this. So for me, it's perspective. And again, it's also about how, because then when we were in the university, there were a lot of people that were very, I would say, perspective again, because people that tend to get caged in that university mindset of that daily hustle of you trying to get good grades, get a very good GPA, be the best in class, and all those things that are like very important to someone in that microcosm, in that university environment. When there's a bigger picture that we're talking about outside, there's a bigger world outside the university. So for me, I would say we already had that perspective of the fact that we're doing 4 years in university. That's going to get to a point. There are no jobs out there. So we need to start thinking. We need to start looking at what are the opportunities we can create ourselves. We can't wait to brush up our CVs and kind of apply to employers, to companies to recruit us. So we have to start taking charge of our own future. So it was almost like a plan B. It wasn't as if we didn't have plans of saying we should go and apply for jobs, but it was like, in case that doesn't work out, at least we have something that we're doing. So I would say perspective. Network, of course, I had very good friends that were able to give me that access to be able to even be aware about the program. So there are other people that were in computer science that probably knew how to program more than I do, and they're probably smarter than I am. But there are a lot of people that they come to university and they don't allow they pass through university, don't allow the university to pass through them. I think that's what they're saying like that. And so a lot of people are just very, very focused on, okay, let me just pass and all that. And they're not really expanding their mind or relating with people. So that network, access to a very good and strong network actually also helped me to be able to take advantage of the opportunity. And of course, I would say luck, because again, I would say there were certain people that came into my life at that point that were able to connect me to that opportunity, and it was just happenstance that made me meet those people at that particular point in time. Now, of course, it doesn't mean I couldn't have still been successful in some other way if I didn't meet those people. But it might be possible I might not have even started a business. And I mean, to be honest, I don't even feel starting a business is the only way that you can be fulfilled. You could actually be doing 9 to 5 and still be fulfilled. So it could have gone any which ways, but I would say luck also had a part to play in it. So those three things,
I mean, I just learned, or I feel like I'm in some university and then I need to expand myself also. Okay, so there are situations where some people just ask that, okay, what can I do right now? I understand interest, right? But some people just go, okay, what can I even try and learn? I would learn it, because I think so there was the rise of makeup and everybody makeup. There's the rise of digital marketing and everybody and the ones that just think that digital marketing is about just retweeting. And then now there's an interesting rise now of data. It has started.
That's also a trend.
All right, now what from what you do, right? From the way you can see Africa becoming, at least for the next decade, what should an undergrad be reading right now, aside class notes?
Okay. So again, I know you mentioned that apart from interest, so I think we want to dimension into like two different ways. So the first will be in terms of what interests you. I think that's also very important.
Right.
And it's not necessarily something that is related to what you're studying.
Right.
So you could have a knack for storytelling. You could have a knack for writing. These are things that are like considered like soft skills, but now with advertising, digital marketing, these are actually considered technical skills in a sense. So depending on what your interest is, I think it's now for you to look at, okay, what are like what is the market saying in terms of like market demand, in terms of what the labor market is looking for in terms of demand and skills. So there's something we call like in-demand skills.
Right.
And in-demand skills is a function of the fourth revolution that we're in, this digital economy that we're experiencing right now. And that's why you see that there is a lot of talk about digital marketing, data analysis, because these are actually in-demand skills currently, and they also have been projected to be the skills that a lot of people would want to. A lot of companies would be requiring the next 10 years, 2020 and 2030 to be specific rather. So again, it's about looking at what are my own interests, and then how can I, deepen my knowledge in that within that field or that particular interest. And then how can I take my interest and offer it to other people. So in terms of offering to other people, it's all about just thinking value. How can I create value? So it could be I'm a storyteller. How can I start writing short stories? And just sharing it within my community on social media. We're not necessarily getting paid for it, but that way you're creating value. If you get to a point where you created some sort of value for people, you get to a point where people want to pay you for that. When they see that you're impacting people in some sort of way, even if it's in a very small capacity within your class or your department, that's you offering some sort of value. It could be teaching, you are offering tutorials and all that. So the good thing about this revolution that we're experiencing now is before it would take you a long time for you to gain a new skill, for you to learn something new, because you would have to probably look for someone that knows about that skill. You have to get in touch with them, get them as a mentor, have to meet them or go to the library pretty much and go and read up on it. But you don't really, before the internet, I'm sure you can't imagine how you used to even learn new skills. You have to learn it via traditional means, reading up on it in the library and all that. But you don't really have a network or you can't really talk to people that have gone through that particular field before to share ideas or even give you feedback. So what the internet has done, it has kind of closed that gap, and it has made information and knowledge accessible to you anywhere. So we have a lot of massive open online courses. We call them MOOC platforms such as Udacity, Udemy, Coursera. So they teach a lot of skills ranging from soft skills around communication, leadership, things around teamwork, and then up to technical skills around things like digital marketing and all that. So it's for you to find your interest, get on one of these MOOC platforms, learn more about them. A lot of them are free, some are paid. You can get the free ones. And then once you deepen your knowledge in that field, you now need to start practicing, experimenting pretty much with a small community. You don't need to start thinking very big. It's like some days say think big, start small. So it's good for you to have a bigger picture. This is where I want to be next 5 years. Start with your immediate community, either on social media or within your class or within your department. And then as you're starting to get a lot of feedback, you're owning your craft, you're adjusting and all that, you are now ready to get paid for it and even take it out to the world. So for me, I would say it's find your interest point, a passion point. Of course, there's also something that I would say sometimes passion will bring you money. So you have to, because I would say it also happened to me in my own case where my passion then, of course, I would say I wasn't as enlightened as I am now. But
Right.
then my passion was always like, I want to write gaming, I want to write codes for games and I want to build games and all that. I didn't understand the market then because of my ignorance and all that. So, but it's cool for me. But at the end of the day, it's something that can bring food to the table.
So you just be empty when you open it.
Exactly. So there's this saying that you have to like do what you have to do, but you can afford to do what you like.
Right.
You get so pretty much you have to, even if you're trying to get sure, you have to look at what is the market asking for, what's the demand is, and then try and it has to connect to what you like. And then after you've owned that skill or you've kind of become an expert, so to speak, that you can now start saying, okay, what are those things that I like and like, my passion that I really, really want to do and all that, and then you can combine both.
I mean, this is a school. I keep telling everyone listening, when it's time for the African Millennial Radio Show, you should have a note and a pen next to you. You should write. Peter Kolade, what's your social media handle? I'm sure a couple of people want to ask you questions. I think you gave that to me. Okay, so it's
Peter Kolade _
Peter Kolade _. That's Instagram.
Instagram, Twitter as well.
So Instagram, Twitter is Peter Kolade _
Yeah.
Right, that's PETERKOLADE _. You should tweet at him, ask him some questions, get into his DM, and is someone that obviously, in fact, I've never heard you, I've never listened to you speak before. I mean, speak on topics, but I'm not disappointed, anyways, from what's been happening. So I think if you really need to listen to him, talk to him on Instagram or on Twitter. That's Peter Kolade _ Go to him. Now, at Webcoupers, you told me about is it Webcoupers or Haptics? You talked about a school that you're setting up. Please, can you talk about that? And then
okay, so that's actually Haptics.
Haptics, yes.
Yeah, Haptics Limited.
Yeah.
So Haptics was again born out of like a need for us to, we looked at what is happening in Nigeria in terms of our educational system, and I think it goes to speak about what you spoke about earlier about how there are certain things you studied in school but that's not what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Right. Like you said, you study post science. And now you're a brand director or like a creative director, right? So it's us looking at what are the in-demand skills like in the next 10 years, next 20 years, and how well is the educational system preparing the youth for the future of work, so to speak. I mean, if you look at it, we have new careers that are popping up every day that you never heard about. Influencer marketing, we have content writers, we have email marketers, we have like data analysts. People don't go to 4 years to go and school for 4 years to study all those things. So again, it just goes to speak about how we noticed that there was a gap in terms of like what the university was teaching, and then in terms of like what the market was demanding. So we were just trying to bridge that gap, like teaching the youth in demand skills that and so that's why you see a lot of the programs that we offer, they are mostly not necessarily tech programs or tech courses. Yeah, courses that we feel even soft skills like critical thinking, things around problem solving, things around communication. We notice that even a lot of people that we recruit from the university sometimes, that we interview rather than not interview, we see that a lot of people lack even soft skills. So yeah, you know how to do, the technical skills, you know how to design, you know how to code, you know how to do marketing and all that. But in terms of actual communication, how do you relate with people? How do you do problem resolution? How do you solve problems? How do you break down complex problems into simpler bits of problems that you can now solve to solve the bigger problems? So how do you learn all those things? And these are things that schools were not preparing people for. So that is why we said let's create a platform where we can empower the youth, empower undergraduates. So even our programs are actually not just for graduates; it goes down to the university system. And we even have some programs that we're launching next year that's for the primary and the secondaries, because we also understand that you have to start from the foundation. You're trying to build certain skills like cognitive thinking, skills. Those are things that are formed at the age of 12 or 13, and you can't really do anything about it. It has to do with IQ and all those things. So you have to form all that before you get older. So those are the things that we saw, the opportunity gap that we saw in terms of the readiness of people that are coming out from the university for the market, for the job market.
Oh, I mean that's
the idea behind it.
Oh, that's really good. I mean, thank you so much, Peter Kolade, for coming on the African Millennial Radio Show. I've learned a lot myself, right? I wish we should do a replay of this sometime, because this is really good. This is something that, in fact, I think I'm just even going to listen to it again and just do a Twitter thread on it, right? So a lot of people would listen and learn from. Thank you very much for your time, Peter. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm looking a little bit melancholy now. Those things sunk in, because I could pick a couple of examples from some of the people I've employed, and I could just see it. I could see it.
You even notice it with certain people from certain universities.
Yeah, don't worry. This is another conversation for another day. All right, guys. So we have to go now. Don't forget to go on getupinc.com to take the African Millennial Report Survey. And on this note, I have to say bye for now. See you next Wednesday. Share this everywhere on Africa Business. You should go back to listen on africabusinessradio.com. All right. Have a nice day. Yeah, bye.
Thank you.
Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Africa Business Radio. Towards a profitable Africa.